My name is Joanne Carter. I'm a photographer editor for The Chief. I'm currently residing in Baggstown, California. I have traveled to 10 different countries thanks to my profession, but I'm about to make history by going where no journalist from the United States has ever gone before: Freelands. After years of requesting, I finally received an answer and got to enter Freelands. I was very excited to go to this new land and learn the history. However, I wasn't allowed to film and only got a few shots, but at least I got an interview with someone so close to the great leader, who is part of the Central Committee and one of the heads of Congress, Sabrina Alizamia. Good morning, Mrs. Alizamia. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you for asking. I'm very excited for this interview. I believe I am making history by interviewing someone so close to the leader of Freelands and an active member of its government.
I'm glad.
So, Mrs. Elizamia, can you explain to me your occupation and your responsibilities?
I'm the head of the Central Committee of Congress, and our responsibilities as the highest authority committee is to direct all party and governmental activities, nationwide decisions, trade and settle foreign affairs, and to oversee the implementation of the decisions of the party.
As I understand, you are the first woman to be the leader of the Central Committee in all Freelands history.
Yes, I am. The revolution brought great, massive opportunities for women, and our faithful and beloved leader inspired women to exercise their exceptional talents.
That is great that you women have a place you deserve. What can you tell me about Eloisa, your leader? I'm afraid many of us have been misinformed as to who your leader really is and what she is like.
There has been great misconceptions about our true and faithful leader, Eloisa. She rescued us from the storm. During the reign of the evil tyrant El Bruno, the people were silenced and oppressed. Those who were wealthy were having abundant feasts to feed their greedy stomachs, while the rest of the population couldn't even put one loaf of bread on the table. And after the Great 27 Army War, our country was left in shambles. We suffered extreme poverty and we were subject to a period of inflation known as the Dark Age. However, the aristocratic families like the Havisham-Childs benefited greatly from the war as they funded both sides and they sold all 27 armies weapons and artillery. And we women, as we had not suffered enough, we women could not hold property and were not to hold important positions. People were always have misconceptions of others without knowing a single thing. But hopefully, I'm here today to clear any vague notions about our great country Freelands and our wonderful and marvelous leader.
Once again, Mrs. Elizama, I appreciate what you're doing here.
My pleasure.
I'd like to ask you a few questions about your economy. I understand Freelands has a command economy, meaning all industrial and economic activity is centralized by the government and private and free trade is illegal. Wouldn't you say that freedom is freedom for those to be able to sell and trade freely without government interference?
It's all right, Alexander. I can handle it. Do not scare the girl.
In that moment, a Secret Service agent approached me for asking a compromising question. However, Miss Elozima defended on my behalf. Now back to the interview.
You Westerners, you talk of this freedom. However, a free market is not freedom. It is just a competition of who can rise on the behalf of another's downfall. Capitalism only makes the poor poorer while making the money-hungry people wealthier. There is no freedom in such a system, only failure. What is important is that due to our system of economics, we have managed to decrease carbon consumption by 70%. We managed to save the stringed-on fish as it was becoming extinct. Women now have a place in the workplace, and we are no longer living under a tyrant. Now, if you'll excuse me, our time is up and I have plenty of work to do.
Thank you so much for your time, Mrs. Alzheimer.
It's a pleasure.
As I toured in the capital city of Misty Day, I realized how fanatical they are over their leader. Every day there's people admiring her monument with the ravens at her side. I've been told that at school children are taught to love her. I'm kind of bummed out that I could not film much due to the strict confidential code, but at least I got to film these wonderful propaganda pieces. Hopefully I can go in sometime in the future and I will be allowed to film more. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this documentary.